Well, China is, of course, famous for its manufacturing, but over the years, the service sector as a percentage of the GDP has been steadily increasing. Today, the service sector accounts for a little bit over 50% of China's GDP. And I see the trend towards a larger share of GDP will continue into the future. Last year, China's service trade increased by 2.8%. Total amount, that means exports and imports, a little bit short of $800 billion. Imports is at 508 billion, exports 287.5 billion. So there's a deficit of about $221 billion in trading services. But I think what I've been seeing is that this deficit has been steadily decreasing. In other words, China's exports competitiveness in manufacturing sector is actually also percolating down into the service sector as well. And this is something, of course, the Chinese government is very interested in pushing very hard trying to achieve. First of all, I want to make the point that foreign countries' exports to China in trade doesn't have to necessarily happen in China. We send a lot of Chinese students to UK for graduate studies, for attending colleges, right? That's a service imports from China's perspective and service exports from UK's perspective. So this is one area that I mentioned, education imports into China, that UK can play a very important role. But there are also other aspects of services that UK can be pretty strong. For example, financial service, transportation as well. And also business services, including things like legal service, consulting, accounting services, auditing, these type of typically, white collar related services. So I think, moving forward, certainly, UK has a very important role and a huge potential, in my opinion, in the ever expanding service sector market here in China. Especially, I think, related to the future digital economy. Technology diffusion or technology transfer is never a one-way street. Currently, TikTok is negotiating with Oracle. So, this is a perfect example that technology innovations tend to benefit everyone. So, this idea that the technology transfer can only happen from the United States to China is a dubious argument, in my opinion. And also, it's not going to, cause the expected effect on the receiving party, or the other party. I'll give you another example. We had in China, Russia, at that time was Soviet Union, started a decoupling, right? It withdrew all its engineers and scientists from China. It stopped all its projects in collaboration with the Chinese government. But this country still recovered. We still send our satellites up into the sky, where we still had 2 atomic bombs and other bombs, without the help of the Russians. So I think decoupling, on the contrary, is not only not going to have an impact on China, it's actually going to, in my opinion, it's going to actually propel Chinese scientists and engineers to even strive more to be more indigenous, to be more independent in that area. I don't believe that the Trump administration's way of doing things is foreign policy, is way of doing things, not just with Chinese companies, but also with European companies as well, with Mexican companies as well, are going to be sustained in the future. Deutsche Bank once put out a study saying that the total corporate America's interest, commercial interest in China is on the order of something like $400 to $500 billion. That business, I don't think it's going to be gone anytime soon. So as long as American companies are still operating here in China, as long as business is not decoupling, I don't think technology decoupling can be that easy. And I think at every level of the government, they've been working very hard trying to make the foreign companies operating in China happy, try to help them solve problems, try to make life easier for them. Look at the foreign direct investment number. We haven't really seen a significant drop in foreign direct investment in China. As a matter of fact, we're still seeing a lot of investment. I think Tesla is a great example. Tesla opened up its operation, before the pandemic, and their cars are selling through the roof. I mean, I just came from another program. They're talking about the increasing market share of LG's batteries. And the reason why? Because Tesla is using LG's batteries. LG is now holds the largest share of batteries in China. It's purely because of Tesla. So I think we're going to see continued opening up, not just in the traditional industries, as I understand it. Many foreign companies, foreign financial institutions are very confident and hopeful for the prospect of the wealth management market here in China. And I really hope that this is something that can really change, being part of China's commitment to WTO to open up its financial sector. I'm still very hopeful that even though China's economy's growth rate has been steadily coming down from its double-digit growth days, but I think even against that backdrop, in the next 10 years, we will still be talking about at least 4 to 5%, if not 6% every year. And that 10 years of time in the next decade at this growth rate is still very good. I'm saying this to foreign companies, including American companies, the great American companies as well. And they've done a great job in the last 20, 30 years, and I hope that will still continue to stay here and thrive together with the Chinese market.